6 months to build this mill. That would include everyone directly working on it, like the millwrights, the carpenters, and the stonemasons, but also lumber cutters, quarry workers, supply runners, cooks in camp, anybody who had a role or was supporting the building. It ran commercially as a business from 1817 until 1893. It did go out of business and was abandoned in the 1890s for a couple of reasons that still resonate today. Number one, someone invented a better machine. Steam engine mills are faster, more productive, more reliable, and most importantly, you don't need a hill with running water to run a steam engine mill. You can build one anywhere you want. The other reason it went out of business also makes sense today. Whenever they built the railroads, they built them somewhere else. Because of the hills, what happened? The railroads were routed 3 miles to the west of here. A new little town called Mitchell's Crossing sprang up. And what happened then is very similar to what happens when a new interstate highway is built and it chooses one town over the other. All the businesses shift to the town on the new line of transportation. Fast forward from 1893 until 1927, the village has been abandoned that whole time. The Indiana State Park system was formed in 1916, and lots of communities and counties want their own local state park. Lawrence County was no exception. Several different landholding interests got together and decided to donate and sell land to the state to form what is now Springville State Park. Indiana University is one of those donors. They gave 67 acres of the Donaldson Old Growth Forest here, as well as large sections of the cave system. Another notable sale or donation, depending on how you look at it, it's technically a sale, but you'll probably think it's a donation when you hear the price. A private cement manufacturing company in Mitchell, Indiana, Lehigh, Portland, which is still in operation today, they owned 178 acres here in the park, or what is now the park, including the village, where the lake is now, and large sections of the woods. However, their owners and operators were local people. They weren't running the company from some far-off city. They wanted a state park in their own local community. So they decided to sell 177 acres to the state for $1 with the condition that they keep water rights to Hamer Cave. And that's still true today. If you walk up to Hamer Cave, and on a nice day like this, I really think you should, you can see their pumping station outside of Hamer Cave still. But let's go ahead and talk about the machine because that's what everyone came to see. This is a replica of the 1817 machine. It is historically accurate. There are only 2 things we've done to modernize it. Neither of these affect how the machine operates, but they do drastically reduce our maintenance costs. One, our flume outside has a pipe in it. You can imagine the maintenance overhead of running water through a 500+ foot long trough through the Indiana summer. With the water running through it, it would rot out just about every year. So to save ourselves quite a bit of work, there's a pipe in there now. The only other change we've made, the bearings at the end of the big axles used to be cast iron, now they're a modern steel alloy. Other than that, the machine is accurate. All the functional pieces are copies of 1817. Everything that was wooden still is. The machine is made out of oak. The teeth are a hard white maple. As you can imagine, even a hardwood is going to wear into itself over time. And we have to replace pieces every 5 to 50 years, depending on how big the piece is, how wet it gets, and how much stress it is under. Our maintenance department does the vast majority of that repair and replacement themselves here on site. As you can imagine, a lot of these pieces you're not going to be able to order from a modern lumberyard. So they have some pretty unique skills in terms of woodworking. Once I turn the water on, that big water wheel outside, 24 feet across, it will rotate 15 rotations a minute at full production speed. Each set of gears is on an axle, so there's two wheels on each axle. The one with the teeth is called the cogwheel. The one with the bars that go across is called the wallower. This setup allows us to double the rotations per minute with each new axle we add. So the wheel outside spins 15 rotations per minute, and it doubles with each axle down under the floor. There's another set of gears down there out of sight. And we get to the millstone, and it will rotate 120 rotations per minute at full production speed. This is good to grind 600 pounds of corn in an hour. So with that being said, my demonstration is really done in two parts. One, I'm going to grind corn, but just for the first 3 to 5 minutes. As you can tell, I would have quite a bit if I just left it on for a full 10 or 15 minute demonstration, over 100 pounds. So anyway, I'll grind corn. After that, I will shut the water off, let the machine slow down, take the millstone out of gear, and then I can turn the water back on, and the water wheel will spin, and all the visible gears will spin, but my stone won't. That way, you don't have to choose between watching the corn production in here and watching the water wheel spin outside. You don't need to hurry around. You'll have plenty of time for each vantage point. Also, another good view that not everyone knows about, on the second floor, you can see the water pouring into the wheel from the top out the window, which is also an interesting sight. And again, if you haven't taken the walk up to Hamer Cave, to the mill pond up there, first of all, it's beautiful, and second of all, it is an essential part of this whole process here. So if you really want the whole picture, take 15 minutes and going up. So let's